Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Balaji on Goddess Talk. Welcome, Miss Gale Philson of
Tax planning and financial strategy.
Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
I'm so good. I'm so excited you're here. So, Miss Gale, because that's what I've always called you. Well, I called you my auntie, right? I decided I was going to call you my auntie because I just decided you're going to be part of the Nigerian culture. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
All right, cool. So tell us about yourself. You're a Tampa native, correct?
I am.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your history.
Okay, I was born and raised in Tampa, Florida. Yes. And I've been in a financial...
The delayed clap. The delayed clap, it's okay.
And I've been in the financial industry for almost 40 years.
40 years. And how did you get into it? What sparked you? Because I know we've had conversations, of course, off air, but your dad seems to have had a great impact on just your financial everything.
Yes.
Okay, so talk about that a little bit.
Well, you know, we were raised to always handle your finances. Finances is the most important part. You know, for every dollar you made, you needed to save 20%. And so that was instilled. And then as I grew up and saved money, and then I needed help investing in money, and I sought out different people asking how can I get into investing and things like that. And if you didn't have a certain amount of money, no one wanted to help you, of course. So I said, well, you know, for the amount of money that I had, I couldn't find any help. So I was like, okay, well, what are the people that have less? So who's going to
less
help
help
them?
for them, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that sparked and said, okay, you need to go into that and be that solution.
Okay.
Be the part of the problem, part of the solution.
Okay. So, being born in Tampa and raised in Tampa, last week we had a guest, two guests actually, that were also born and raised in Tampa, that they talked about there were different programs in school that really helped them with entrepreneurship and financial, thinking and so on and so forth. Do you feel like that was around when you were coming up in Tampa? No. Okay. So speak about from that perspective, because of course, they were younger than you. They were probably 80s, early 80s babies, late 70s babies. But they had some programs at that time for them. So what wasn't around at the time for you?
Well, I actually graduated in 78.
Okay. So I think they were being born at that time, coming up in the 80s, and I was born in the late 88. So yeah, there you go. So you graduated in 78. Okay, go ahead. Tell us a little bit, Miss Whippersnapper. So you graduated in 78, and what wasn't around for you at that time? Do you think those programs were needed?
They were needed. We had total different concepts of life. At that time, you were given different choices. Like when you graduate from high school, you either go to college, go in the military, go to work, or get out. You're gonna be on your own.
Okay.
So it was one of those options, and so depending on your mindset, determined which one you follow.
And you feel that having the kind of upbringing and parenting that you had really drove you to be in a different mindset?
Yes. My mindset was more always entrepreneurial.
Okay.
Because I would go get a job, but I would never stay at that job.
You were not an employee. You just wanted to make money, but you didn't want to work for anybody.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but you wanted to be an entrepreneur from a young age. Do you feel like your parents put that in you, or you just was like, I'm a hustler? You a hustler. She's a hustler, homie. All right, because you were hustling, I'm sure you got into different things. So have you had other business endeavors or businesses that you have been doing prior to really starting your tax prep company?
Yes.
Such as?
I used to design databases.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that. Yeah, you were. She is a jack of all trades, or Jackie of all trades, if you want to say it. But so you used to do programming. So tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, I went and I'm really eager to tell my age, because remember you wouldn't remember the Commodore 64.
You say the company or the Commodore?
No, it was
the music?
called the Commodore 64.
Oh, okay.
Not
The
the
Commodores.
music.
Oh,
It was
I know the
actually
Commodores.
computer. It was actually a computer called the Commodore 64.
I did not have an idea what that
And
was.
so it ran off a basic program.
Mm-hmm.
And so I literally taught myself how to program the Commodore 64. And so with it, I found that, okay, it was hard to get jobs because I had self-experience, but I didn't have the work experience. So I said, okay, let me go to school. So I went to school, took a class, and found out that a lot of the stuff that I had already learned, they really didn't teach. So went through that process, finally got my first job in the program, and then for them to turn around and say, everything you learned in school, forget it. And so then I had to go back to it.
Which, how you self-taught.
Yeah.
And that was something from just meeting you, because I met you, it's been, what, like about 2 years probably now, maybe a little bit more. I feel like it's 3.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But you were all about self-teaching because you like to read.
I do.
She is a reader like nobody else that I probably ever met other than myself when I was a kid, because I was obsessed with it. I could sit at home and sit on the couch or lay in my bed for the whole day, probably just go to the bathroom once. I might not even go get a freaking meal, but I would just sit and read and read. And when me and you started talking, I saw your bookshelf. I was like, you have a bookshelf. And like it's the whole wall, which most people don't have anymore. So talk about your passion for reading, because we'll get to the books that I asked you to bring with you, because you re-sparked my reading, because college had me all messed up. I didn't want to look at another book for a minute. But, you know, what sparked your reading?
Well, actually, what sparked my reading was I heard someone say, if you want to hide something from a blind person, put it in a book. So then I became that person that, hey, I want to know what they think. So I started reading.
So I think that quote is actually from Dick Gregory. And I love me some Dick Gregory, rest in peace, or rest in paradise. He's really, you know, we love Dick Gregory. But yes, if you want to hide something from a black, he said a couple different words, but from a Negro, keep it in the book, because we don't look in there. Right? And you were like, you aren't hiding nothing, because you nosy. You nosy. You're nosy. That's what it is. You just want to know, like, what's going on there? Yeah. So that sparked you to open up a book,
Yes.
and really start delving through not just books about what you wanted to learn as far as, you know, programming, but just different things, right?
Yeah.
So what is one of your favorite books? Because that's one thing I did ask you to talk about.
My favorite book is the Bible.
Yeah. She said it. The Bible.
The Bible.
So my mother would love you, because she's read that thing back and forth, front to back, in probably different languages. My mom is real about the Bible. But that's your favorite book.
It is, because everything, and you know, The Secrets is my favorite book too.
Yeah.
But what I did was I did read The Secrets because I wanted to know what the secret was. And then
And
I
who's the
started.
Secrets by? Sorry to interrupt.
The Secret is by Rhonda.
It is by Rhonda Byrne. I'm gonna borrow this. I have a couple of her books in my house that she hasn't gotten back. She's not getting them back. And I've actually ended up borrowing it to other people, because it's like, oh, you got that book? I was like, yeah, I got it from my accountant. But here you go. So it's The Secrets, right? So you read this, and this is one of your favorites.
And what I found was that a lot of the things that they were saying are secrets is really in the Bible. And so if we just went and read the scriptures and applied that to our life, we would have the secret.
Okay.
And it's free.
You think the Bible's free?
It is.
It costs money to get the Bible. What you talking about? It's
Online,
been
it's
monetized.
free.
Well, yeah, you can get the app if you wanted. But if you wanted the physical copy, you gotta spend money. I grew up in the church, so I can tell you what store to go to, because my parents made me go there. My parents' gifts were the Bible during church events. My dad would buy straight Bibles for all the children, and he would have me write in there to whoever it was. So we all had so many Bibles growing up, and literally none of us have any of those Bibles anymore. But The reason I do appreciate you bringing up the Bible, because a lot of people, myself included, who may not be Christian anymore or even follow a particular faith, we understand that, hey, you can't hear me?
I'm going to keep going.
Oh, sorry. We understand that, hey, parables are really important to our lives, right? Because it's just, you have a story and there's a meaning to it. So how can we take those specific or significant stories and use it? But then also understanding that a lot of the stories in the Bibles come from our melanated ancient history that were used and kind of bastardized and thrown back in there for a different purpose. So, you specifically told me at one point that a lot of financial information is within the Bible itself.
Right, Book of Proverbs.
Okay, so can you open that up when you get a chance and actually read it? Because I want the readers to understand. I am not the Bible-toting person at all, but the thing about understanding finances, or just understanding anything, you have to be able to look at all angles, all perspectives. So she's going to look it up and she's going to let us know. But in the meantime, she said that The Secrets by Rhonda Byrne is one of her favorite books, and it has helped her with financial planning and other things as well. So, what was another book? You said Tony Robbins?
I
Roberts?
love Tony Robbins.
Robbins, okay.
Yes. And the reason I like Tony Robbins is because he teaches you how to be well-rounded, balanced, and not just hype, but show you really how to apply different rules to your life.
Okay, so Tony Robbins, Unshakable, Your Financial Freedom Playbook, Creating Peace of Mind in a World of Vitality.
Mastering the money game.
And mastering the money game. All right, so money, master the game. Seven simple steps to financial freedom. Secrets from the world's greatest financial minds. So those are some of her favorite books. We'll probably ask her a little bit more about each book, but she's going to find that specific chapter and verse of Proverbs. Oh, you got it?
Hold up. I'm trying to think of which one.
You can drop a couple of them. But the whole point, the reason we're going to do that is because at the end of the day, us as black folk, original man, however you would like to state it, we are in a crisis financially in this country and just kind of all around the world. And I feel like our best bet really to kind of come out of the slums that we've really been in, that we have found ourselves in, is to become financially and fiscally smart. We need to reconvene as a people. We need to rebuild a nation. And we need to just go on and really get ourselves really together. Would you like me to read it? I can read it for them.
Oh, no, I'm just ready to find the verse.
Find the verse? All right, you got it. But in the meantime, if you want to call in to 813-444-9588, this is Guys Talk. We have Miss Gale Philson here. Miss Gale, drop your business name again.
Tax planning and financial strategy.
Tax planning and financial strategies, and what she's here today to talk to us about is, again, tax planning, because a lot of us do find ourselves in a bind when it comes to taxes, correct?
Yes.
And I'm sure you have so many stories, tax time, about just kind of scandalous things that we have done. She's looking for that book.
I am. And here we go.
All
There
right.
is treasures to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it.
Okay, so move closer.
Okay.
Proverbs what?
Proverbs, that was Proverbs 21,
21:20, and I'll reread it.
Okay.
Proverbs 21. We're having some technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
21:20 says, "There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it all." So is this King James Version?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I did shade it because I know all about the real King James. All my woke folk will be like, "Ooh, she go there." Yes, I had shaded it a little bit. But we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. So 813-444-9588 if you want to call Goddess Talk and add to the conversation. We are going to talk a little bit about the Bible and just financial information that you can find in there if you want to check it out. All right, we'll be right back. You good? Which one is the next one? Hey, y'all. Who's on here? Hi, Aaron, Lush, and Pam. What's going on? I can get you. Need your black on. Sorry. 13.
So 13:11.
13:11. That's the next one. Sorry. When you're running other business at the same time that you're on another business, I'm like trying to find certain things to send her. And there we go. Floral backdrop. You good? You're not really put on the spot?
So we're gonna talk about the issues
With us as a people? With us as a people? Yeah, absolutely. So I'll let you lead that into the conversation. What, if I will? Alright. So what's the next chapter? We're about to get there.
13:11.
13:11. Proverbs 13:11. Sorry. You can read it and I'll repeat it for them. 13:11. We're back. We're back.
Yeah.
Hey y'all. Ooh, hey Alex. We're back on?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's God is Talk with Balaji and Miss Gale Philson of.
Tax planning and financial strategy.
And we have somebody who decided to join our live on Instagram.
Hey, Alex.
Mr. Alex Oladele. Alex is, number one, we've known each other since we were 7 or 6 or something like that. Our families grew up together. But Alex is the owner of Jet Black Travel and also Russo Doctor. I am so proud of Alex. But Alex is also another financial advocate that I know about, that he's been doing amazing things. And all three of us are actually working together on some things that we're going to drop soon. We go drop some things for y'all. But Alex, if you don't mind staying on the live, you can add to the conversation. Ms. Gale is on here to talk about financial planning and, of course, tax planning. But she decided to bring up the Bible and saying that there's actually some verses in there that relate to us as a people, or just in general that relate to financial mentality and so on and so forth. So the next verse that you're going to read is Proverbs what?
13:11.
13:11. And what's that?
Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it again for those who need. There you go with the. I keep messing up the mic. So it's 13:11?
Yes.
All right. No, it's 13:11. Okay. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathered by labor shall increase. So, vanity can be taken a couple different ways. If you're chasing other people's success, that's vanity, right? You can't mimic somebody else's success. It's their success. And the one thing they mentioned there is labor. Work hard. You can play hard too, or play harder if you so choose, right? And we know all about that because we travel. After we've done hours and hours and hours behind the scenes of work, like Ms. Gale and I were talking, like, I'm exhausted, but I know that I need a vacation so bad. Oh my God, I need a vacation so bad. But labor. So hard work does truly pay off.
Yes.
There have been, of course, people who have not been successful in business. And not everybody needs to be in a business. That's the one thing people don't understand. You could be successful in a regular job with benefits and everything, making that 9 to 5 does not diminish your success. A lot of people have that mentality messed up. So I do appreciate you bringing the Bible. You know, I'm sure my mom, if she's watching, she'll be very happy. But you brought the Bible to discuss the fact that, hey, if you really are a Bible, I'm not going to say nothing shady, but if you really do look to the Bible for a lot of advice, financial wealth is within there for you if you so chose. All right, so thank you for that. So the 2 verses are Proverbs what?
Proverbs 13:11.
13:11, and the second one was?
The other one was 21.
20, I think it was. All right, but she mentioned the book, The Secrets, right? So I haven't gotten into this book yet, but I will take her book so I can read it. There's a couple books of hers that I have in my house. But then she mentioned Tony Robbins' Unshakable, right? Your Financial Freedom Playbook, creating peace of mind in a world of is it volatility? I was about to say, okay, you know what I mean. And then another Tony Robbins book, it's Money, Master the Game. So that's another book I might steal from her. But Alex, what kind of advice do you have for people when it comes to financial? Because you are a millennial, you're just newly 30, and you out here running businesses. So what advice could you give some of our viewers? I'm going to bring you closer to the mic so people can hear you.
I would say, geez, man, put me on the spot.
I had to put you on the spot because you decided to come in on my live. Okay.
Delayed gratification. I think that it's a very important concept. I think just recognizing that, the labor that you put in on a daily basis, the bricks that you lay every day is ultimately going to yield into something, substantial, fruitful. And I think that we live in a society now where most millennials are just interested in, the results at the moment. You got folks who are taking out loans to travel. You got people who are doing things in the moment, which ultimately results in them being bankrupt, and just a lot of poor financial decisions. So I think the biggest thing is just understanding that every brick that you lay will ultimately yield into something successful in the in the long term. And another thing I would say is not really related to financial matters, but it indirectly relates to it. It's the concept of surrounding yourself with like-minded people. People who are really literally doing the same thing as you, because we don't have to say we know that birds of the same flock, whatever that saying.
Birds of the same feather flock together.
Right, exactly. It's really powerful how, for me personally, I can speak for you, speaking for Gale, how your success is augmented when you literally, are in the same environment as, somebody else who's of the same caliber, doing the same thing as you, like the same thought process. So, it's cool to be around smart people. I think that this thing in our generation nowadays was like, oh man, they're like squares. I don't want to be around them. They're squares, but they get money. They're squares, but they want to be in a position that you're in. So ultimately, I would say, just always having your mind with gratification. Jay-Z said one time, I'm playing the long game. I'm not here for the short term. I'm playing the long game. That's the concept that I've adopted. Just knowing that, I can buy this, I can buy that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking about my future. And Elijah, you always preach about it, like the generational income and the general. Well, that's ultimately what we have to change, because that's ultimately what matters. So, that's what
Alex done drop the hammer on some people. I just feel, ooh, that hit my soul, hit my spirit. Okay. But nah, thank you. The delayed gratification, that's a big point to really drop on people, because as soon as we get it, we spend it. As soon as it comes into the account, even before it even hits the account, you've already spent that money knowing, hey, it's on its way, and it's gone. So delayed gratification, you don't need to be flossing, because Will Smith said that. You're buying things to impress people who don't even care, like for real. But we're doing it, and as I would speak as just as Nigerians, we've seen this as an issue within our community. And as Black folks, we see this especially within our community. The fact that we feel that we need to be frivolous, the fact that we feel that we need to show all of our wealth in our clothes, in our shoes, in our cars that we drive, the purses, which I don't have or carry, our phones, you know, just the different things. And I'm not going to lie, you know, I bought some things, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's understanding or overstanding that we don't always have to do that. Keep that money in the bank, because guess what? If it's not making me money, I don't need to have it.
That's a big point.
You know, if it's not making me money, I don't need to have it. So my phones make me money. I got 3 of them. There's work being done on all 3 phones, so I had to have it because I need to separate the businesses. It was too much going on.
3 questions.
I had 3 what?
It should be 3 things, not just if it's not making me money, I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need, remember, we need to always deal with balance.
Yes.
So with that balance, if I don't truly love it,
Yeah.
or it's not making me happy,
Yeah.
and I don't need it, and it's not making me happy,
Yeah.
then I don't need
Okay, so let's talk about happiness. See, we moved into the another thing.
Y'all talk about topics that oh my God, I still have an appointment in like 3 minutes.
All right, you go, but this is the thing. You need to come to Tampa so you could actually get on the show so that we can really have this whole conversation, all 3 of us.
Yes.
So look at your schedule. And book that ticket. All right? I'll see you. All right, bye, Alex. So thanks, Alex, for joining. If anybody else is on the live and would like to jump in, have any questions, yeah, come on, Ben. Come on down to Tampa, Florida. But nah, you talked about happiness.
Right.
All right? Happiness means a lot of different things for a lot of different people.
Right. So each person has to choose what makes them happy.
So if your happiness is money, that's your happiness. If your happiness is flossing and looking nice in different designers, because a lot of there's some people who are just materialistic, and materialistic things make them happy. I'm not going to argue their happiness.
It might meet a need, but does it really make them happy?
But that's the thing. It's not up to us to judge what their happiness feels like.
Right.
Because I know that the clothes I wear doesn't make me happy. I know the experiences I have with people makes me happy, right? Because then we move into the love language. What is your entrepreneurship love language? You know what I'm saying? Because we talked about that. My thing is, for me personally, I've relooked at my love languages, and it's so funny because I kind of forgot for a minute, and then I remembered, right? But what makes you happy about the businesses that you have? What makes you happy?
What really makes me happy is because I get the opportunity to make a difference in someone else's life. And so by doing that, it helps me grow in life. And so
you receive happiness by assisting other people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's almost mine verbatim as well, because I really truly love to help others. Of course, that doesn't always work out because some people may take advantage of that.
Exactly.
But I truly, making other people happy makes me happy. It literally lights me up, and I can't. It's a natural high. You know what I'm saying? And having the experience and seeing that joy in them, the fact that they really have received something that I assisted them in receiving, it makes me very happy. So if anybody wants to join in on the conversation, we are going to move on a little bit. Call us at 813-444-9588. This is Goddess Talk with Balaji, and we have Miss Gale Philson of
Tax planning and financial strategy.
All right, and we're talking about financial strategies and tax planning. So when we come back from this break, we're definitely going to get into those parts. And we're going to continue, of course, on our happiness talk and other topics we decide to talk about. But we'll be right back. This is Goddess Talk. All right? See you soon. Is it all messing up?
Yes.
So is it streaming on Facebook too?
No, it's messing up on Facebook because Darren did something to say now.
Okay. No worries. Look.
That is recording only audio.
No worries. We'll use that. Hey, it's podcasting at the same time, you know, so no biggie for me. As long as people get the message, we're good. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? If you want to, drop some questions in there if you have any questions for financial planning and tax prep. We have a professional in the house, all right? So, you know, for Afro-Organics and for Goddess Talk, my radio show, it's all about how we can assist us as a people to get forward, all right? So, you know, money is not the thing, it's resources. So we're going to talk about that, all right? And we had somebody jump on. His name is Alex. Alex owns Jet Black Travel, and he also owns Rousseau Doctour. He stepped in for a little bit to talk to us. Hey Ben, thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, drop it in there. Anybody on our live for Facebook have any questions, definitely drop it in as well. All right, we'll be right back. He stepped out. Oh, he probably took him down. No worries. Woo. My bad.
It's like, not bad.
My bad. But no, it's all good. What were we talking about? I'm so tired. I do need a vacation. Happiness. Yeah, happiness is different things to different people. Esteban is back on. No worries. It's all good. We'll just keep going, okay?
Alright.
It's not you. I know that, so it's all good. Welcome back to Goddess Talk with me, Balaji, and my special guest, Miss Gale Philson of
Tax planning and financial strategy.
Tax planning and financial strategy. So let's break that down. So in this next section or segment, what is tax planning about? Because it could be a year-long process.
Yes.
So give us a little bit insight into that.
Okay, so tax planning is different for each person because each person's situation is different. So the main thing is finding out, okay, what are your goals? And then based on your goals, not only right now, but your goals in the future. So your plan should be always consistently moving toward your goal. And so you always have to start where a person is right now and then work the way up to where they're going to be. Okay. So that at the end of the day, their plan is basically when they get older, have very little taxes. So be like that mid-run, be 15% tax window versus that.
And this is the thing, a lot of us were mad. A lot of people get mad about Trump, about Steve Bezos from Amazon, about Romney. But these tax laws are written, you're saying it's for everyone if you have the knowledge to seek it out.
Exactly.
Okay. Because that was the thing. Because you know me, I could be a conspiracy theorist as far as understanding or overstanding and looking at things, right? But a lot of people want to say, oh yeah, you know, the white man's keeping us back, and we don't know this, we don't know that. No. It is, as you said, or as Dick Gregory said, they kept it in a book that you didn't read.
Exactly.
And you didn't have access to. So how can we change that? So now you're saying that, hey, it is possible for us to also pay less in taxes and do certain things, just like the supposed 1%ers, right? If we take advantage of certain tax laws, legally. So, keep going about the tax planning.
So mainly, you know, like I said, based on your goals, when you're going to retire, the investment vehicles that you select when you lose your jobs. You know, some people get 401ks, some get IRAs, depending on that. You know, so what happens is a lot of the people that you're seeking for advice has no tax background, and because they don't have a tax background, they may put you in a vehicle that generates you money, but then when it's time to retire, then now you get hit in taxes because you didn't apply tax strategies. And so when you're seeking out your financial person, you should always ask, do you have any tax knowledge? If they don't, then you have to think, do I want to proceed with them or go seek someone out who is both?
Okay, so one thing I do understand that we also do is that we do kind of go for the cheaper option.
Right.
So the reason they didn't stick with somebody who really did know the taxes and who could really put them in the best position was because they did have somebody that they knew who could probably put it together and still just get their taxes filed, but did put them in the right position.
Right.
And I feel like I've, of course, been in that position myself with the people I've used in the past, but I discovered you 3 years ago and I haven't had any issues. You know, and we talk about finances all the time. So now, that's tax planning. So it could be a year-round situation. It doesn't have to be just in trying to get it done in January for April deadline.
Really, January is almost too late. So when you want to start planning for the next year in January of the previous year, so that you can get the best rates in January of the following year. Because
See why she's my accountant, y'all?
and so everything starts with that plan. And I mean, think about it. Most people won't do anything unless they have a plan. You don't go on a trip and just get in your car and say, "Hey, wherever my car takes me, that's where I want to go."
Yeah, no.
You have a destination. You know exactly where you want to go, what it is you want to do, and then you need to do the same thing with your finances.
You know, steps to take to meet that outcome or that destination.
Yes.
All right, so that's tax planning. Now, your second part for your company is what? Financial what? Strategy. So, in order to become a millionaire, because that's what everybody's so fascinated about, right? I don't care about the money. I care about the resources.
So what most people want to be is rich.
Yes.
So rich to one person is totally different than rich to
Another person. Yes.
So, because like for me, my wealth is in my time. I want to be able to just travel where I want to and have the money to go when I need to go. And so some people trade their time for money, and some people just like their time.
Yeah.
Because because like most people, what they really aiming for when you ask them the why in death is the time. I want more money, but why do you want more?
Yeah.
Are you specific about the amount? So if you just saying I want more money, if you have an extra dollar, that's more money.
Yeah.
So it's about
And it made them happy to
and
have
it
that
made
extra
them-
money.
Exactly.
But one saying that I always really do go back to is you can't take it with you.
You can,
But what you can
but
do
you can
is
enjoy
leave
stuff while you're here.
while you're here, right? And you
Yeah.
can of course leave it for your generation after, your children, and so on and so forth. So with financial strategies, because I wasn't a strategist, I didn't care. My money was my account, and I spent it. Right? That was just me being me. All right, I'm a spender. And Miss Gale looked at me and said, "What?"
I'm a saver.
She wanted to smack me so bad. She was like, "Well, we need to budget." And she gave me this budget sheet that I never used until I decided to buy my house. And it was like I was having everybody goes through the buyer's remorse. It's like, oh my God, I spent all this money and and my account is looking a mess right now. And she was like, we said we need to budget. I was like, shut up. But I finally pulled that paper out and I really filled it in, and I realized where I was spending way too much money. Food. Look, I run multiple businesses and cooking is just not a thing. Uber Eats works, okay, but food was one thing that I was spending an exorbitant amount of money on, right? It wasn't clothes, it wasn't shoes, it wasn't jewelry, I don't wear makeup, I don't do any of those things, and I realized that I wasn't even traveling as much as I thought I should travel, but that was one thing that I noticed, and just stupid little bills, like, having Netflix accounts, and other, Spotify, and all these other, streaming sites, right? And those add up to a crazy amount of money. You think $10 here, $10 there. Before you know it, you got like 10 or 15 different streaming situations, and that adds up in each month. So I finally started cutting back, right? And so thank you for really hammering it over my head. You need to strategize with your finances. But talk about how you help people with strategizing for their finances.
Okay. So remember I said the balance. You really have to have a balance. So what's important to one person may not be important to another. Because like you said, you like to eat.
I like to eat.
Well, I love my football. So,
Look, before I boycotted all the sports teams, I was the biggest football fan. I had all the sports packages, NFL Red Zone. I had NBA the passes. I had all of it, and I was spending like $300 on But yeah, you like the sports, don't you? I hear you.
I like the sports.
Uh-huh.
So remember I said I asked myself 3 questions. One, is it a need? 2, does it make me happy? And 3, will it make me money?
So
if
1 out of 3.
1 out of 3, as long as it falls into that category, it's okay for me to spend on it. And the other thing that I do is I always have separate accounts. So I have my travel account because travel is very important to me. Because like in November, I get to go with jet lag to
Okay.
Africa.
She is going with jet lag. You see how we keep resources going around with each other?
And so, to be able to do that, what I do is I use my change. So whenever I go to the store, I never use change. So if it comes to $1.06, I give them $2, and that 94 cents goes into my travel account. And so I do that. So, and then 1% of my income goes into my travel account. So that when I'm ready to go, I don't have to look at anything else but my travel account. If there's enough money in there to go, then guess what? I get to go.
And you really established to me that it's not about the dollar amount, it's a percentage.
Right.
So please break that down for our listeners and viewers, because I'm still struggling with this. Because like, look, if I'm getting paid, this is just a random number, $4,000 a month, I might say, okay, 500 goes into this, 500 goes into that. You're like, no, that's not how you do it. It's the percentage.
It's the percentages. Because once you establish your percentages, then your money will increase. So you don't have to worry about adjusting your percentages again. The only thing happens is more money goes into those accounts. Because if you were able to live off of 36% of your income for your housing needs, then if you get a raise, then that just means more money goes into the housing account that is able to take care of if anything breaks down or different things like that.
Okay.
So by giving your money a home, always take the stress, because people don't understand that finance, you get sick if you can't handle your finances.
Say that again, please.
So you want to have that balanced life where, hey, you know what? I need a miscellaneous account. Because sometimes you decide that, hey, I want to go and have a $30 meal. You don't want to have to worry about where that $30 is going to come from. Did it take away from some other areas?
Yeah.
So my miscellaneous account is for all those things that I rank less than a 5. So anything I do, I ask myself on a scale of 1 to 10, is it important, or how important it is to me? If it's ranked under a 5, then it needs to come out of my miscellaneous account. If it's above a 5, then it comes out of my entertainment account.
Okay. So percentages and accounts. And you've instilled that into your own children. You have 2 children.
I do. One follow, one doesn't.
So that is a good point. I want to make sure that we establish that, because a lot of people feel like, okay, as parents, if we put all this stuff in place for our kids, they're going to follow through on the stuff that we establish, and all that generational wealth and all that stuff is going to go in there and stay in there. But we as children are our own people.
Right.
We will or we will not. So the thing, what you can do best, what you have established, is that you at least taught.
Right.
You at least try to instill. And you still gave them the opportunity themselves to kind of do as they chose.
Right. And so, like my son, for instance, he just loves to spend. He is a spender. And whenever he needs money, he understands that, number one, in order for me to have money, I had to work for it. So I will give you a job, but I won't name you. And so, people fail to make money rules. Kids will have you broke. So, at some point you have to say, you know what?
Kids will have you broke. That was the best birth control right there. That was the best birth control. Oh my uterus and everything just shut down. Like, kids will have you broke. Nope, we're not doing
They always
that.
have something going on. They need this, they need that. When they get grown, you think they're on their own. Then they want to come back and constantly asking you for stuff. And so,
kids will have you broke. That's just it for me. That has done it. So we're gonna be right back. We're about to take a break. It's 813-444-9588. This is Goddess Talk with Elijah and our special guest, Miss Gale Philson. We'll be right back. She said, kids will have you broke. Oh man.
You see, that's how you'll be a kid.
That was just the best way not to do it. Not to do it. I was not gonna do it. I was like, oh, I want kids and I wanna, impart all this. I wanna give it to somebody after I've worked all these years for it. Kids will have you broken. No, they won't. I bet you they won't. That's the one kid.
They will.
I don't know.
Do you at least have some joy having kids like that? And that was it. Kids will have you broke. So there's nothing else outside of that. The broke part is just it. Oh, that was it. That made my night. I was struggling. I was like, ooh. She said, kids will have you broke. I said, oh, yeah.
Say, no children for me.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? If you want to drop any questions, financial planning or tax prep or tax planning and financial strategies, you go ahead and drop it in the comments and we'll answer them. Any questions? If you're joining us, please drop any questions. We will answer. Thank you. So, last part, we'll talk about balance. You talk about just health and wellness. Because you said that being broke basically can hurt your health.
Oh, yes.
It hurts your demeanor. It hurts everything. I said hurts sis. What's hurts sis? It hurts.
Takes away your hope.
I'm exhausted, y'all. Like, my bed is, I want to crash so bad tonight. I hope I can get in early tonight. But tomorrow's Friday, so we'll see. Hey, it's Goddess Talk with Balaji and our special guest, Miss Gale Philson of
Tax planning and financial strategies.
We're still on the part about kids will have you broke. Like, that just took me out. And I'm just wondering what other joys come with having kids other than being broke right now. Because I don't have any. I'm just like, I don't want to be broke. But we were talking about basically your health can be affected by your financial status.
Yes, the stress.
The stress. It's debilitating, honestly, when you're stressed because money matters. Not that money matters, but your money matters can really cause you some emotional, physical, mental, adverse reactions. So let's talk about that a little bit. So how can we get around that?
Okay, so a lot of people are confused about, I just don't make enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the amount of money you make.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what you do with the money you make.
Mm-hmm.
So I have clients that make minimum wage that have saved up over $20,000.
Stay by the mic. Say that. People who make minimum wage
Have saved over $20,000.
I have before the whole house situation.
And then you have people that make a lot more
Mhm.
haven't saved $5.
Mhm.
So it's not about how much you make. It's the decisions that you make. And so, when you follow your rules, and that's the key, is creating rules. Not only to, I just lost my train of thought.
No, but for what you have said so far is not living above your means. Because that's an issue that we
Stay
face.
within your means.
Stay within your means because some people want to live in big houses. They want to show a big house versus what's within the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you want to live in a situation that you can't really afford to, but you might do it knowing that it's really out of your price range.
Yeah, and so those people we call house rich, cash poor. We do have a name.
And
Some
do they
people
think?
are car-
house rich, cash poor.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta write
And
that
so,
down.
so it's about, do you want to impress others, or do you want to live your best life?
I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
All right, so house rich, cash poor. And do you feel that mentality is something that people are raised with?
No. What I found, and it's interesting, is that what most people spend the majority of their money on are things they liked when they were kids.
I can actually agree with that.
So,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, because some people, I didn't have enough pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have shoe fetishes as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always spending money on shoes. They can't stop themselves from
Yeah.
spending money on shoes.
Mhm.
And then they say, well, why can't I stop? Because you're trying to
Compensate for something
compensate
that you didn't
need that you had when you were a child versus saying, you know what, I'm an adult now.
have. Mm-hmm.
So I'm responsible for my finances from this day forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, and that's where the tax plan comes in. Because as you sitting there figuring out the things that you want to do, you create your roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get on that road, you get to decide where you get off and where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell people all the time, get your bank statement.
Mhm.
Whatever the amount you want to have in your bank statement, make a copy of it. Take your black marker and write down the amount of money you want to have in your bank account.
Mm-hmm.
And then create the rules to help you get there.
Okay. So do you need a financial strategist in order to do this?
It will make your life easier.
Because a lot of
But
people...
no, you don't.
No, because, and that's, I'm glad you did say that as honestly as you did, because some people feel that, you know, and I'm one of those people like, well, can I do it myself?
You can.
You can, all right? And people are very successful doing it.
And so can I use a Bible now?
If you would like to.
Okay. So, you either go on an 11-day journey by
Okay.
getting you a financial strategist,
Mhm.
or a 40-year journey by doing it yourself.
Say that again.
11-day journey by helping someone help you, or 40 years trying to figure it all out yourself.
Okay. So, the thing is, and I'll be also still on the other side where, okay, I might take that 40 years, but then guess what? I know that I really did it, right?
Yes.
And
But you're doing
I
it with
studied.
a strategist.
You're doing it as a strategist. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have, number one, you are self-taught,
Right.
which I'm trying to do right there. I just want to throw that back at you.
Uh-huh.
Or you went to school for it, whatever it is. So some people feel like, hey, I would rather learn how to do something than to actually pay somebody to do it. But I can also advocate for the fact that, hey, I was trying to do certain things by myself and it was getting out of hand, and that's why I had to start delegating to other people,
Right.
or bringing on people who actually that was their own day-to-day situation.
Right.
So that's smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
So I'll work it back to you.
Yes.
So, if somebody wanted to reach you, how would they go about reaching you?
They'll just call me. My number is 813-495-4997.
Okay, and drop your email, please.
As,
Wait. Oh, what is it?
well, I'll give you
Okay,
talk to
yeah.
strategist
Okay.
at gmail.com.
Talk to strategist at
The number
Gmail.
2.
Oh, talk to
Talk.
the number 2
Strategist.
strategist at gmail.com. All right, so we'll drop that in the comment section. And Miss Gale, drop the name of your company again.
Tax planning and financial strategy.
Strategies. All right, that's Miss Gale Philson. Just all that. All right, 813
495
495
4997.
Okay, 497. All right, is there any other black businesses you would like to shout out right now that you can think of that people might need, that you might not, you know, be that versed in that business, and you think like, hey, you also need to kind of connect with these kind of people?
Well, Lioness.
Hey, Suzette. Lioness Insurance.
Insurance,
Yes,
yes.
with Miss Suzette Alexander. But she is incredible. She's done a couple things for me, and she's done a couple things for you.
Yes.
So what do you use Suzette for?
Whenever you're doing a mortgage and someone needs insurance, I
Commercial
refer 'em
insurance.
over.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily
Commercial.
commercial. She does property and casualty.
Okay. All right. So Suzette, we just gave you a little shout out. All right. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take a moment to thank you for coming, because you know I've been with you for almost 3 years on a couple of different things. You assisted me in getting my house.
Yes.
So a lot of people didn't know that too. So this is the broker that I had as well, and she did a wonderful job. So I told y'all I did a very black situation when I bought my home, and Miss Gale Philson was my broker. So she has her own brokerage company, I believe, correct?
Reliable.
Reliable Mortgage. So drop that information. What's the email for that one?
Gale at silversteinmortgages.com.
All right, so you can still reach her for a couple different things. She got her hand in all things financial and freedom for all of us financially. Thank you, Ms. Gale, for coming. All right, so, but before we leave, I want to take an opportunity to let Tampa Bay know that we have a beautiful thing coming December 13th. We're going to have, basically it's going to be a Native Met Gala for us people here in Tampa Bay, December 13th at 7 p.m. Here at Inkwell Center in Tampa Bay. And we're having two amazing artists from DC and Philly coming down, all right? You have Blue Robin, so Blue/LU Robin. He is from Philly, but he's been in DC doing a great amount of things. And then we have artists, oh my gosh, Lindsay. But Lindsay got her own thing too. So they're going to be coming down here. But in the meantime, what we're going to also do, we're going to have food, drinks. We're going to have some beautiful performances by some dancers. And I'm not going to let you know what other musical talents we're having because I feel like it's just such a great thing to have here in Tampa. But we're going to have that coming soon. So if you want to purchase some tickets, they are now available on Eventbrite. We have great seating. Inkwell has been gracious to let us use their facility. They are black owned situation because you know how I do all things black around me. But we have some great people who are going to be part of this experience, bringing it to Tampa Bay. I'm so excited to be part of this. So shout out to Blue Robin and shout out to Lindsay. They are together called Art what is the name? But I'm going to get it together next week for y'all. But I just dropped the link today, so that's why I'm a little confused. But in the meantime, join us next week on God is Talk. It is always at 7 p.m. here on In Touch News. This is Balaji, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.